What's going on, everyone? I'm doing a live today, trying to get myself used to doing these lives. I hope everyone is having a amazing Saturday today, wherever you're at, that you guys are enjoying life and just being here above ground. You know, everything is a blessing, even though sometimes we don't see what's in front of us. So just counting our blessings, right? Thank you guys so much for joining me today. I wanted to come on here and with all the things that I've been posting, I want to just kind of clarify a few things, if you will, because I feel like not enough people are sharing this, and this honestly should be like spreading like wildfire, you guys, about these 1099 forms and 1041s and all this other stuff. And just really quickly, it's like sometimes you come to a point in life where you have to admit that you may have been led astray. That's kind of where I'm at right now, because given the fact that I've been studying this credit stuff for the last, I don't know, since September, that's what, October, November, December, January, February, almost March, almost 5 months now. And then coming to the conclusion of what I've come to about how it's fraudulent. It's kind of heartbreaking because I wanted to believe that this credit remedy was going to be something to help me and my family and my future and whatnot. And so I know that it can be shocking to the people that are hearing me. I know that some people don't want to, believe it. I know I didn't want to believe it. But if I am utilizing this platform for real about spreading truth and awareness, I can't let it sit on my conscience to let people be led astray with all the shit in this movement. And just further research and everything that I've been researching with the case laws and all the publications on the IRS with these, forms and stuff like that. It just boggles my mind that there's so many people doing this shit, and they're thinking that they're doing it and that they're gonna get some kind of remedy. And as you guys saw on one of my previous posts, I forgot what case it was, where they were allowing someone to continue to pull credits and claim them for 10 years until they got busted and indicted. And so people are like, I'm getting messages where they're like, I'm doing it and I did it. It's my first time and nothing's happened to me, and this and this and the other. And do you think, and it's like the system, if we're gonna really be like, if this is gonna really be a movement of truth, right? We're supposed to always continue to question things, question me, question if this is, this system is correct, question if the one, behind the screen teaching something is correct. Like, that's what we're supposed to continue to do. And not just be like, oh yeah, that makes sense. But the way that things are supposed to make sense is, where are the laws or the publications or the codes that allows people to pull millions in credit from the estate? Now, again, this is probably I don't want to say that it's hindering me, because a lot of people haven't signed up for the class, and I'm just like, okay, you guys would rather go pay someone to lie to you than to actually be told the truth, and that's pretty fucked up. But because this should be spreading like wildfire. Like, if we really care about the people and we really care about the movement, all I'm saying is look at this shit and be careful on the entrapments that are here and put here for a reason, for us to fall over on. And the thing about all this credit and all this it's disheartening because I really wanted to believe that I could do it. And the more that I research, it's like, you can't. And nobody can tell me we need to stand outside our jurisdiction. You need to read the law, honey. That's the problem. See, even me, I had to read the jurisdiction on, you can't mix public and private. And so we're trying to come in as private Americans into their public jurisdiction and fill out voluntary forms that are their forms. And we are voluntarily filling it out, trying to get some kind of remedy. So in a way, we are, well, if I was to have done it, I would have been incriminating myself. Because another thing that I'm looking with this whole movement, if you would, is that a lot of people are promoting, now that I see, like, you know, execute your, or become the executor of your estate and then go get a death birth certificate. Now, if that doesn't fucking make you guys be like, what the fuck is somebody trying to make me do or trying to encourage me to do? Like, I don't know. I don't think I can ever help it. I don't think I can help someone that just wants to be blind and not hear. Because if you were to go get a death certificate, what would happen if you were to end up in court or stopped or something, and you've done deceased the estate, gotten a death certificate, went and tried to collect credits and claim them? Tell me how you would hold up in court. See, because I ask myself this in the mirror while I'm trying to think about claiming them, right? And I'm like, all right, if I was to go ahead and execute this, how will I hold this up in court should I get questioned? And there's no fucking answer. And everyone that has messaged me comes with their feelings to me about, oh, well, you know, it's because they did us wrong and they owe us money and all this other stuff. And just so you guys know, you know, all this redemption stuff about claiming your credits and all this other shit, you know, it has history in white supremacy. I was reading about that. And it was a white supremacist leader, I forgot his name, that started this whole redemption process stuff. And I'm going to share that with people in my private community, because right now I don't have all of my documents with me. And if you guys haven't gone to my private community, you guys definitely should, because I'm honestly thinking, like, I always say I don't want to be public like that anymore, but because sometimes I just feel like I get too much hateful comments on here. And sometimes I just feel like I get hateful messages about, like, me being stupid, or I just don't know what I'm doing, or this or that, when I'm really genuinely trying to help the public. And so then it just kind of gets, like, annoying, and it's like I don't even want to deal with people in the public, because some people are just super ungrateful. And so you know, when you're trying to, like, be honest and raise awareness to this. And so, but yeah, no, it started from a white supremacist leader talking about all this shit. And I started thinking, right, because, you know, when we start going down the rabbit hole about all these processes, United States citizen, United States national, non-United States citizen national, you know, diplomat, you know, do not detain list, all this shit, right? You obviously are going down a rabbit hole of just asking questions and questions and questions and trying to figure out why, right? So when I started figuring out that a leader who actually started this redemption movement was a white supremacist, right? I started thinking, I was like, why would... I think I paused, you guys. Am I still on here? Can you guys hear me? Can somebody give me, like, a thumbs up if you guys can hear me, so I don't keep going? Can you guys hear me? Any thumbs up? Or okay, cool. So my thing is that thank you so much. So my thing is that I started going down the rabbit hole about how, like, this whole redemption process started with a white supremacist leader. Now I'm gonna have all this shit on my private academy and show it to my private members, but I don't have the papers with me. I'm not, properly set up right now. But I started thinking, because you start questioning everything. So I started thinking, I was like, I wonder if these white supremacists felt the need to, because one, they did not like melanated people, right? They didn't like, they felt that everything should be free and that it should be off the melanated people's backs and everyone else, the indigenous, all of that, right? They felt like this was their land and they believed in fucking slavery, right? So everything should have been free. Nobody owns anything other than them because this is their land. And, we owe them. We owe them our labor. We owe them our energy, and we owe them our time and everything. That's how these white supremacists felt entitled to, right? That's why they whipped slaves and all of that, because they didn't view people like people. And so I started thinking, I was like, well, when the slaves were freed, right? There came that other class of the United States citizen, but that's a whole nother subject on that matter. But I, just thinking about everything, I was like, I wonder if it was something that was embedded into the like after, having the 14th Amendment stuff, if that was embedded to further divide and put people in prison for trying to get some kind of remedy from being entitled to something. Now, I don't know if that makes sense to you guys. It was just a thought that came to my head, because I'm like, when you are around all of this stuff and you start questioning everything, you should really start questioning, okay, how would they want me to fuck up, and how would they want to see me in jail, and how would they, just like I had mentioned in my last live, that in the ghetto, because that's kind of where I grew up. I mean, I didn't kind of grow up in the ghetto. I grew up in the ghetto. And that was all it was. You had undercover cops that were like providing drugs for people to actually go and sell them. And, some of them look homeless. Okay. I remember as a little girl, there was something happening around the neighborhood that I was walking at. And all of a sudden, this homeless looking guy just pulls out a gun and said, "Stop, motherfucker, undercover," like that, right? And pulls out his badge. Like, this guy looked like he was just like a drunk on the floor, potentially looking cracked out, but he was undercover. So whatever operation they had going on in the streets where I was living near, that was an operation they had. So wouldn't you think that in this movement, this sovereign movement, this freedom movement, there wouldn't be some kind of operations trying to get people that are trying to be free from the system, but further try to get them more into the system and imprison it, like in prison? Do you know what I'm saying, you guys? Like, I don't know if that makes sense. And a lot of the things that I've been with the groups that I've been in is just, all of the shit is just so much red flags, you guys. It's just so red flags. And it's like, I'm not going to live with it in my conscience to have a platform and lie to people, and promote something that is a fucking lie that can potentially it will give you relief, right? For now, if it works, and then potentially end up in prison for a long, long time. I will not be able to live with myself knowing that that's what I'm pushing on people. And so I just can't. So it's just like, my sincerity is to spread this shit as like wildfire. And again, I even mentioned, like, if I was a fucking agent, I would just sit back and be like, yeah, do that, girl. Do that, honey. Keep doing it. Keep doing it. Let's be friends. Let's do this together. Yes, we're going to get our redemption. We're going to get this. We're going to get that. And then fuck you up. That's what agents do. They don't come on here and try to and whistleblow on other agents potentially doing this shit, trying to fuck people up and have them trip over themselves. And people have died with just right to travel, and right to travel is a real thing. Obviously we all have the right to travel. There's due process, there's all of this stuff, and they try to put people in jail just from right to travel. Can you imagine if you're actually fucking taking or claiming or pulling and claiming millions, even hundreds of thousands that wasn't properly yours in the accounting? And being in the groups that I was in, they're like, don't make up any receipts, don't do this, don't do that. You have to make sure that the receipts add up. Do you know what they encourage you to do? They encourage you to go buy some fucking receipts on Amazon. You know what I'm saying? That sounds like making up receipts, brothers and sisters. I'm just saying. You know what I mean? So it's just like, I get it. I get wanting to make it in life. I really do. I come from a place of being where I had nothing to eat at one point, and if we're gonna be in lack, that's not the right mentality, right? We have to know that whatever we do in life, we're gonna do it, and God's always with us, and that we're always gonna succeed. We don't need to take from anybody. We don't need to do something that can potentially harm us in the future. That God is always gonna protect us no matter what. And that whatever our gifts are in life, that we need to bring that out to reality, and then let source do its job, and just trust the process in faith, and not and that's another thing. It's like what I'm saying right now, trust the process and this and that. Like, people will use that shit in all these processes too, like religion and God and all that. And you got to think about it. I used to be heavily involved in churches, and then I was like, fuck these churches. They're, sorry if anybody doesn't think that, but, because they manipulated people with the gospel. And so it's like, I remember one time I was with this church, and this lady was like, if God told you to give me all your gold, will you be subordinate to God? Or, are you going to follow God's command? Or are you going to be a rebel against what God told me for you? You see what I'm saying? So that manipulation of the word of God. And so I've seen this in this movement as well, as far as like, trust the process. God is with you. In the Bible, it says, 10x that, 7 times this, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, y'all need to really be vigilant, because there's legit agents trying to fuck us over. And it's not coming from paranoia. It's coming from awareness, you guys. It's coming from, if you go down that route, you may just go down, to prison. It's not coming from anything else but awareness. If you go punch somebody in the face, you may just go to jail if they call the cops on you. That's awareness. Do you know what I'm saying? If you go and pull up at the liquor store and pull out your gun and tell them to give you some money, hey, you may end up in jail. That's awareness, right? That's not fearing anything. That's thinking about it and be like, that's a possibility. Do I really want to play with my life with that possibility? Or instead of going to do this, maybe I should just focus my time and energy on something that will be good, and trusting God that no matter what, I'm always provided for. I don't know if that makes sense, you guys, but I'm definitely going to be having this more in detailed class on all the findings that I have found on my private academy. There's going to be trust, help there as well. I'm going to be talking about ecclesiastical trusts, ministries, faith-based organizations, things that really are helpful in remedy and asset protections and stuff like that. And I'm going to be talking about, obviously, this and doing presentations about the findings that I have found. So if you guys haven't already, click on my link on my Instagram or wherever, and become a member. I also have the book that I just released on what you guys should look for. There's case laws on there. There's IRS publications, all of that you guys can go read. So if you're in the middle of actually about to do it or about to execute it, go read that before you execute it. And then go do your due diligence, and then read this case law, read this reference, read that publication. And then you are a sovereign. I'm a sovereign. I cannot blame anybody for something if I'm a grown woman and I got both opinions or both things in front of me. One is telling me that I have the right to do that, and then another opinion and court case and references and publications is saying no, I can't, blah blah blah, and then that's for me to decide, right? So I can't blame anybody, and that's what we need to do as people that claim that to be sovereign, is to really dissect the information, read both sides, and then think about if that's what you want to do and execute. You get what I'm saying? All I'm doing is saying, look at this before you do anything you may regret. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, I was about to do it and I was like, I cannot because it's just not good. It's not good, guys. So anyways, that book is in my bio as well, and it's going for $11.11, so I made it pretty cheap. But it has really good references in there. And then if you become a member, you get that book for free. And then the class is going to be not this Saturday, but next Saturday. I'm going to be hosting a class in the private and going through the case laws and publications and stuff like that. So, this is not about being scared. This is not about fearing anything. This is about really having awareness, self-control, and not going off the deep end in psychosis, and just taking for face value somebody else and what they're saying. If I have any kind of advice that I can give as a friend, is don't trust anybody in this movement, just like that. You don't know them. That's all. You know what I'm saying? And may God always be with you, because I know that at the end of the day, all we're really doing is just trying to just make it, because it's like sometimes we feel like this system is not for us. So I hear it and I get it. But we have to come back to source and know that whatever we have within us is going to help us, succeed in life without having to do things that are going to jeopardize us in the future. You know what I'm saying? So anyways, thank you guys for joining today. I hope that, yes, exactly. Spiritual warfare for sure. I hope that helped you guys. My phone is at 5%, so it's probably going to die. But I just wanted to come on here because I had it heavy in my heart. And I'm just like, people need to be spreading this more, because there's just so much misinformation and don't listen to that. She's just paranoid because now she's becoming a fraud expert or this or that. But it's like, I'm not even a fraud expert yet. Okay, I'm going to become a certified fraud expert. But I mean, just like you would go and get a CUSIP number from a legit CUSIP person, to get you the correct CUSIP, you would want a fraud expert to tell you what the fuck is fraud, you guys. You know what I'm saying? I'm with you guys. I really am, because the whole way I started this, I mean, you see, I was fucking talking shit to the cops. Like, I'm traveling, motherfucker. Like, don't fuck with me. I'm just getting some ketchup from Target. Leave me the fuck alone. I'm sick of this shit, and I'm not doing anything. And so, I get it. I'm trying to tell you guys that I get it, but just, do your research before you execute anything. And I really hope that I see you guys on the private side. I try to be very, personable with my private members and the private community, because I know that, you guys are entrusting somewhat in me, but all I can do is don't trust me. Here, trust the facts. Trust what's here. Read this for yourself, and then trust your inner self. and what is God guiding you. Don't pay attention to me. I'm just here showing you to look at something. Do you know what I'm saying? So anyways, I really appreciate you guys being here, and I hope that this makes a difference. And if you guys, you know, the least that I ask is just to share the knowledge. You know, it can hopefully help somebody not get jammed up in stuff, you know, being under pressure and being in the wrong movements. Because like I said, the last movement that I was, or not movement, but the last group I was in, they were like really pushy. They're like, if you don't do this shit and you don't show us that you did the 1099Bs and all this shit, we're gonna kick you out. And I was like, let me do the honors for you. I will remove myself, because the pressure of you trying to tell me to execute something because you said so, you know, I already have the rebellious spirit in me. I don't like it. So it just made me look deeper and deeper into the subject matter. And I was like, yeah, no. And you guys know something is that a lot of private undercover cops and undercover FBI agents and shit like that be doing all this stuff, they get special shit where you will never know that they're undercovers. You'll never know. It wouldn't be public record because they're so fucking protected. And so if somebody's saying that they've been doing this shit for 20 years and nothing's happened to them, maybe an undercover. I'm just saying. I'm just fucking saying. I'm just saying, you guys. And oh, they're a whistleblower. I'm blowing the whistle on the fucking whistle, motherfuckers. Because I see that they're trying to fuck with people, including me, with this type of shit. And I'm not gonna fucking just shut the fuck up. I'm not. And so, yeah, that's all, you guys. My phone is about to die. So I love you guys. Enjoy your weekend. I hope to see you on the private side. And please share this knowledge. I think it's super important. There's so much misinformation out there. And just people need to be aware of this stuff, because it's fucked up. It really is. So anyways, I love you guys, and have a wonderful rest of your day, you guys. Take care.